Hari 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 Mahadev. Hari 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 Mahadev. Mahadev, Dev ke Dev Mahadev, the Lord that has really no form. Shiva means that which is not. Today we bow in reverence to that eternal energy, the balance of the Shiva and the Shakti. You will understand in a little while of the positions that we take of this body. Let's talk. Hari 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 Mahadev. Hari 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 Mahadev. Jai Jai Shiva. Very
And I am Keshav, and our topic for today is discipline.
Keshav, are you a disciplined person?
Well, I think so, but my father might think otherwise. You know how parents are. How about you, Krishna?
I have to be disciplined because I have SE examination, so I must listen to my parents and teachers, but most of all, do the right thing if I want to succeed.
What are your thoughts on discipline?
In everything that you do, discipline is of utmost importance, for without discipline, we are not able to achieve any of our desires in life. Desires or goals in life. Discipline can be a very ambiguous term and translates into several different meanings for many people. Some consider it as punishment. Others may consider it as being persistent towards achieving a goal. It can also be perceived as a way of life. There are many examples of discipline, but let's look at parental discipline. If your mom and dad tells you to go and study, yes, study, or wash the dishes. We all know we must be obedient and listen to our parents with honor and respect.
This particularly reminds me of the Ramayana, when Lord Rama displayed this form of discipline to his father, King Dasharatha. Please join us in this show, buddy.
Sri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama.
King Dasharatha, knowing Kirtan was under a submissive spell, kept his honor and his promise to her, although Lord Rama's mother and brother did not agree. However, being the disciplined, devoted, and ideal son, he agreed with his father's request to go into exile for 14 years. No one is greater than God, and God himself, Lord Rama, displayed the qualities of a disciplined and obedient son as he sacrificed his right to rule and the comfort of living in the luxurious palace when he went into exile for 14 years. This chapter teaches us about some characteristics of discipline, such as obedience, persistency, dedication, and sacrifice. Lord Rama, the Almighty God himself, demonstrated the discipline we must have towards our parents, and this is how we should live our lives.
What a beautiful message from the scriptures. Sri Ram was the ideal son, but many of us have a long way to go. Please listen carefully to my story. Once upon a time, in a kingdom, there lived a guru who was a very learned person and had lots of experience in teaching. Students from faraway lands came to be educated. At the Isha ashram, there were 4 princes named Kabir, Keshav, Varun, and Navin. All 4 were very bright, handsome, and had good conduct. But like many teenage boys, they had a particular problem. They would start any new work with full enthusiasm, but lose interest very soon after and never finish the work. Guruji observed this and thought of teaching them a lesson. One day, Guruji called the princes and said to them, "My dear students, as you know, the dry season is approaching, and we only have one well for all our needs. I think if we dig another well, it will be better. So I want you four to start digging up a well on the northern side of the ashram." Saying this, Guruji left for the village. The princes at once got to work, digging the well. Kabir used a crowbar and dug the soil. Keshav used a shovel, and Varun and Navin started throwing the soil in a nearby piece of land. By the time they dug up a few feet, Guruji returned and said, "Kirtan Aachaaryas, stop digging here. So, please move to that corner and start digging." Maybe there was no water in that part of the ashram, so Guruji asked them to dig elsewhere. So they got to work once more. After a while, Guruji stopped them again and sent them to dig at another spot. This happened several times. The princes got angry with Guruji and said, "If we keep digging incomplete pits, when would we ever finish the well?" Guruji laughed aloud. "Exactly. You're digging the well the same way you do your other subjects, jumping from one task to the next without finishing it. Be disciplined in all you do and add value to the world." The princes now understood that their Guruji was teaching them a lesson. They bowed down, took his blessings, and promised to never leave any work incomplete.
That's a funny story, Keshav, but a good lesson. I even know those boys and the Guruji, Pandit Krishen.
Absolutely. Devotees, I admit that it's tough as youth today to stay disciplined. There are so many distractions, especially with technology, gaming, and social media. Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, "The disciplined yogi, moving among objects with their senses under control and free from attraction and aversion, gains tranquility." Achieving discipline is no walk in the park. It's never an easy road. Devotees, to accomplish our goals in life, we must practice discipline in small steps until it becomes a natural part of who we are. Remember, the distance between your dreams
And reality
is called discipline. Jai Shri Ram.
Prema to the top of the pool. All of you can look now. On radio, just imagine there's a big rain shower at the top of the pool. If you notice, there's a pipeline connecting, coming all the way to the ground, and there's a valve. So if I want to get water from the ground to that rain shower to the top, maybe 30 feet up in the air, I will turn the valve on. And you will say, Panditji, well, of course, the water will flow because there's a smooth path through the pipeline to the rain shower head over the pool. But what if that pipe had a little kink in it? Imagine the pipe is coming from the ground, it makes a 90 degree going up, then a 45 degree up to the roof, and it winds. What if that pipeline had a kink in it? Would the water, having opened the valve, would it reach the rain shower head? Would it? Some of you are saying no. And some of you are saying not enough. You will probably get some water, but not enough. And the answer to that very question is simple. It is simple mechanics and physics. And if there is a restriction in the line, you will not get the flow at the end of the discharge. Do you know that Sadhguru Jati Vasudev has made an analogy of this body? That this human body, if you understand this human body, you understand this entire creation. And the yogis and the ancient seers of the past, do you know that when Sage Vishwamitra and Sage Vashishta sat thousands of years ago and they meditated, they could have seen what was happening in the year 2017 on, what is the date today? On July 23rd at 20 minutes after 9 in the morning. Thousands of years ago. Today I'm asking you, at 20 minutes after 9 on a Sunday morning, can you see what will happen at 4 o'clock this evening? Not many of us, right? And therefore, Sadhguru is saying, if you can understand this body in its entirety and how it works, you would be able to understand the rest of this creation. And when you get to that level of understanding and knowing, you are analogous to Shiva. You know what Shiva means? Shiva, it is not a person. Shiva is a state of being. And therefore, when you become all-knowing, understanding this body gives you an understanding of the creation and gives you an understanding of that tricky little word that we call God. Everybody today knows God. We can spell God, we can give God 8,033,000 names, we can give God, say you belong to Hinduism, well, partly Hindus a little bit, give God another name, well you belong today to the Christians, and then we'll pull up a little bit there, tomorrow we will call him something else and we say, well you belong to the Muslims. He belongs to all. And therefore, when we compartmentalize ourselves into religion, we never fully understand and appreciate and experience the divine. When we call God by names, very religious, very encouraging, as it is a pathway. But when you understand this that I'm about to share with you this morning, you will have a very different perspective on what this something that is called God is. So I started this morning by saying, if I touch you at a certain point on your spine, I can explode your head, right? If I know where to touch you, on your spine, I can cause your entire head to explode. And this is why we are very much reminded that we must be careful who we allow to touch not just our body, but who we allow to touch our spine. In particular, our spine. We're told that the spine of the human body is equivalent to the axis of this creation. Have you ever had something sweet to drink? Yeah? A little later on we'll have something sweet to drink. Do you know that when the tongue tastes something sweet, before the brain can register this is sweet, you know where it goes through? It sends a signal to your spinal, through your spinal column. We have Dr. Amrita Palmer here with us this morning. If I take something and I pinch you on your little toe, do you know what happens? A stimulus in your toe, but it goes through the signal or the conduit that takes a signal to your brain to say, hey, Pandit Krishen is pinching my toe, pull away, or smack him in the head. Do you know that it is the very same spinal column, the spine that we're talking about, sends the signal that you are not even aware of. So when you sit something sweet, you know. Brain says sweet. When I pinch you in your little toe, you know. The brain says, I was just experiencing pain. But it is the same spinal column that sends a signal to your heart that says, beat. This is the same spinal column that sends a signal to your lungs that says, contract and expand. Contract and expand. We call it inhalation and deflation. No, that is for economics. Exhalation. And therefore, there are things that are going on within this body that we're not conscious of. And today I just want to share with you a couple simple things. Don't change the way you're sitting right now, but watch. Some are sitting like this. 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 And those who are standing, may be standing. Pay attention, not to the person next to you, but pay attention that our three devotees at the Taj table here this morning, they're also paying attention to the way they sit. And this is not a criticism. Because I want you to look at the way I'm sitting as well. And there's a secret in the way that we sit, the way that we stand, and the way that we breathe that influences the energy patterns within your body. If you sit upright, like this, whether you're in a low yogic posture or not, but you keep your spine straight, you know what happens? Sitting with your spine erect influences your mood. It can be either positive or it can be negative. But sitting upright reinforces confidence. So now, change your sitting posture. Do you want to be confident or do you want to be anything comes, anything, it doesn't matter? Huh? When you sit upright, we are not conscious of it. But when you sit like this, it changes your mood. Some people say, think good thoughts and the body will follow. Well, here's another secret. Change the body and the mind and the emotions have no choice but to follow. And therefore, when you sit like this, with the spine in the erect posture, what is happening is you are changing your mood. You are influencing your mood. You are influencing your confidence. You know, today, a lot of people have challenges with confidence. The children who are here today, in the early days of Bachche Khan, we had children who would tell me, Guruji, afterwards, you know, before I started Bachche Khan, I was so afraid to talk, Gurudev. I didn't teach them how to sit. I may have touched them on the back a couple of times and make them sit upright. But what I was doing was allowing them, I couldn't give them confidence, but giving them an opportunity with the right guidance, they gain their own confidence. They can stand in an audience with 1,000 people and speak comfortably with confidence. And you would say, Panditji, that takes practice now, that takes discipline. Yes, but keep your spine erect and see what a difference it makes. You know why I'm telling you this? Because when you bend the spine, or you keep the spine or the body in the wrong position, it is like kinking the pipe that is taking the energy from the base of your Mooladhara chakra and it is sending to your master control. And therefore, in the yogic sciences, there is something that is called Nadi. What is the word?
Nadi.
What is the word?
Nadi.
Nadi. Nadi are chakras, energy centers within this body. The Chinese call it Chi, the Hindus call it chakra. You don't worry what it's called. There are 114 energy centers within this body. Have you ever had a headache? Have you ever had a high fever? Have you known somebody who has experienced cancer? Do you know somebody who has experienced hypertension? Do you know somebody who has experienced, you name it? Today, there are 55,000 different types of prescriptions that are issued, Dr. G. Today, 9% of people in the United Kingdom and 10% of the people in America are suffering with depression, and that's a low number. And what that is telling us is that the nadis are being kinked, figuratively speaking. The energy within his body is not allowed to flow properly. And therefore, when we can learn the art of allowing Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo. You see, when you're poolside, even helicopters come to say hello. So, when we can learn the art of allowing the nadis, the energy centers of this body, to be unclogged, to allow the energy to flow properly, not a single health problem you will have. This is not Pandit Krishen's opinion, this is the law of the universe. Adi Yogi Bhagwan Shankara 15,000 years ago gave this secret to the Saptarishis. Today, we hear the word yoga and we're thinking you have to bend up your body like a pretzel stick or stretch it like a rubber band. No. That is different types of yoga now. But the very simple form of yoga that I'm telling you this morning is just pay attention to this. Keeping your spine straight builds confidence. It changes your emotions from negative to positive. But here's another one. When you stand, how do you stand? Some people stand like this. When you go to the military, they say, chin up. Huh? Chest out. Walk like a? What? Oh jeez, I can't see that on video. Walk with confidence. It means chin up, chest out, shoulders erect, and present yourself. Yoga. You know what that does? Dr. G, again, maybe I should call Amrita to give this discourse this morning. There are two types of hormones in the body. One is called testosterone. Men, boys becoming men, and men wanting to remain masculine. You know what I mean? Later on in the years, depend on the amount of testosterone in the body. When you stand in an erect position with the spine and the shoulders and the head in the right position, it promotes the generation of testosterone in a male's body. And there's another hormone that is called cortisol, Dr. G. Cortisol, it is another type of hormone that does the opposite. And without giving you a medical discourse this morning, your lungs, how do you breathe? Pay attention to how you're breathing. So I'm teaching you three things this morning: how to sit, how to stand, and how to breathe. The average human being, and I'm talking and I see people adjusting and say, okay, Panditji, testosterone on its way up. Do you know that the average human being breathes how many times per day on average? Very good, 23,000 times. Give Vandana a round of applause. Vandana Prasad. Good guess. 23,000 times per day. Every single one of you would breathe. Inhale and exhale. But do you know how we breathe? We breathe with the chest cavity. For those of you who are on radio, I'm breathing. It's not static. And therefore, this is how we breathe. But the yogic science tells us don't breathe like this with the chest. It says use the diaphragm. You know what the diaphragm is? Push your belly out and push your belly in. My Ghanaian sister, touch your brain before you put your mouth in gear. You see, you have to allow the stomach, the belly, to inflate and then deflate. Inflate, deflate. So you're not just breathing with your lungs, you're allowing the diaphragm within your belly area to help you with breathing. If you look at ZTV, I'm not advertising for ZTV, you will hear Baba, what's his name again? What? Baba? Who teaches yoga? Baja? Baba? Baba Ramdeen. What does he do? He allows rapid inhalation, rapid exhalation. And I thought, this man has to be mad. until I realized what he was doing. He is sending a signal from the lungs consciously to the brain. There is a nerve that is called what nerve is it called? I can't remember the name of that nerve. But this is a nerve that it goes from the bottom of the abdomen to the brain. It is one of the 8 cranial nerves that sends is it a vagus nerve? Vegas nerve? Not Las Vegas, what is it? Vegas. V-A-G-U-S. So just to make sure that you know I'm not saying Las Vegas. It is V-A-G-U-S. It is a nerve that connects your lungs, your heart, your spleen, your pancreas to your brain. Have you ever seen somebody see blood and faint away? What causes the person to faint away? Is it about the sight of blood? No, the blood is blood and your eyes are only seeing. Something happens in the system when you see blood, for people who faint away, it sends a signal to that nerve that shoots a signal to the brain that says, hey, respond, shut down, and you collapse. As an example. And therefore, when you rapid breathe using your entire belly area, your diaphragm to breathe, my apologies to those who are on radio, what you're doing is you're instructing that vagus nerve to send a signal to the brain to change, to be constructive in the type of energy that is generated. Conscious energy that is sent to the rest of your body. You didn't know that, right? How you sit, how you stand, how you breathe influences your being. So without spending too much more time on this, I wish to reiterate one point. The spine, it is the sushumna. On the left and the right side of the spine, there is the Ida and Pingala. Science call it left brain, right brain. The Chinese call it Yin and Yang. And in Sanatana Dharma we call it Shiva and Shakti. Once we learn the art of harnessing the energies of this body, what I gave you was Yoga 101. Very basics. Understand that how you position this body has the ability to influence what would have been happening unconsciously. You will be learning the art of changing the energy of this body consciously so that you can influence your outcome. When you become in control of your life and your energy and your health and your well-being, then you become Shiva. Shiva means experiencing Vairagya. Ragya means color. Vairagya means without color. You know what that means? You become transparent. So you sit like me on the asana with a blue background. When you are experiencing Vairagya, you become blue. When you go into the water with a different color bottom of the pool, you become the color of water. When you stand in front of the red hibiscus, you are transparent. Not literally speaking, but that is what Vairagya means. You understand how to manage the energy of this body, but not let the colors of the world. When you're in blue, you become blue. When you in front of red, you become red. But red and blue and yellow and violet, Vandana, they do not stick to you. All an analogy this morning. So when you go out into your world, just understand this. And if you can understand this slice of this planet, you would understand this world. You would understand God. You would understand, you would tap into the mind of the Creator. Prem Samosri, Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki.
Thank you.
Twameva bandho's त्वमेव विद्यां द्रव्यं त्वमेव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा शंकर भोले बाबा को शंकर भोले बाबा को बड़ा सिपाही को तेरा ही प्रणाम तेरा ही की, पवन पुत्र हनुमान स्वामी बाबा की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की।